Thanks for staying with us. Welcome to News Track on Channels Television Lagos. I'm Joker Rogers.
I'm Ayatollah Balogun. These are the stories and reports we're tracking at this hour. The President, Dr. Goodluck Jonathan, has today commiserated with the families of those who lost their loved ones or property in the bomb attack on the premises of the force headquarters in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Dr. Jonathan, who was at the police headquarters to assess the extent of the damage caused by the bomb blast, called on Nigerians not to panic, assuring them that the federal government is investigating the blast.
He described the incident as a terrorist attack which could be targeted at anyone, but that the country will soon get over it. On hand to take the President round the explosion site was the Inspector General of Police, Mr. Hafiz Ringim. The President said that the attack was not just directed at the Inspector General of Police, but the entire nation, and that government was on top of the investigations to unravel the perpetrators.
First and foremost, let me commiserate with those people who lost their property. Some vehicles were burnt, and some innocent people must have been a victim of the explosion. But let me use the opportunity to assure Nigerians that it's a period globally that we experience all these terrorist attacks all over the world. No country is free. Nigeria is also having some ugly incidents relating to that, but we'll be meeting the security agencies on top of this. Surely we'll get over it. People should not be panicky at all. People should not be panicky. That soon most of these things will be a thing of the past. It's not the IG. Everybody is a target for a terrorist attack. I don't want to make reference to what happened in the United States, but they were to even crash the plane into the White House, isn't it? And so normally terrorists will went to the top. If they can bomb the president, they will do it. So it's not.
Members of the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs have called on the federal government to fish out the ringleaders of Boko Haram. The leaders who addressed journalists in Abuja condemned the bomb explosions that rocked the force headquarters yesterday, leaving 2 people dead and 9 others injured. They asked the leaders of the sect to embrace dialogue rather than engage themselves in violence. They have called on the federal government to provide jobs for the nation's unemployed youth to dissuade them from acts capable of perpetrating violence in the country.
Meanwhile, 2 persons died in the explosion that left 33 vehicles burnt and 40 others damaged at the Nigeria Police Headquarters, the car park in Abuja. Narrating the incident was the National Police spokesman, Odushola Amore, who told the news conference that a suspected bomber drove into the premises at 11 o'clock in the morning, while a traffic warden who was trying to direct the bomber to the car park for searching was blown up with the bomber.
Firefighters working to put out fire from damaged vehicles at the police headquarters in Abuja. The fire was caused by a loud bomb explosion detonated by a suspected suicide bomber. According to the police, the suicide bomber drove into the police headquarters shortly before 11 o'clock in the morning. Unknown to a traffic warden who led the suspect to the car park near the gate, he entered the car with the visitor for searching and checking. At 11 o'clock, a device believed to be a bomb went off in the car, causing policemen at the headquarters to run helter-skelter. 33 vehicles were burnt, while 40 others were damaged.
The Inspector General of Police has expressed his displeasure over the suicide bomb attack on vehicles at the Force Headquarters Abuja car park. The unfortunate incident, which led to the death of the suicide bomber and a police traffic warden, occurred at about 11:00 hours when the suicide bomber vehicle was intercepted and directed to the car park for searching and checking. The traffic warden who entered the vehicle of the suicide bomber to direct him to the car park was blown off along with him, that is the suicide bomber, as soon as they got to the car park. The IGP wishes to appreciate the effort of the fire servicemen, NEMA, the Armed Forces Fire Service, who promptly responded to put off the fire. The body of the suicide bomber has been recovered and it has commenced. Members of the public are assured that the criminal elements behind this dastardly act will be fished out, as the government, the police, and other security agencies will not succumb to the demand of any criminal group or individuals.
The police said it suspected the radical Islamic group known as Boko Haram for the bombing. Mr. Amore said the group has issued several threats before the explosion.
Well, definitely we'll be suspecting those group that go by the name Boko Haram, who has been issuing threat upon threat, and for which the police is rising up to that challenge. You remember we just came back from Maiduguri, where we took about 10 APC to rise up to the challenge of the insecurity in Borno State.
Besides the deceased, 9 people were injured in the explosion. The head of surgery at the Asokoro District Hospital, where they were admitted, said they were in stable condition.
All of them came here, but they are, just when you came in the morning, they are now stable. What I mean by stable, cardiovascular system is normal, respiratory system is normal, the person is breathing fine, is realizing as well, they are now. We still have to discharge it to a police health facility. We brought in the 2-3 police doctors, gave them the history, the biodata, the clinical condition. At the time we were discharging them back to the police clinic. If they were in serious condition, we would have discharged them, but they are stable. And so short, you just so one that we actually need maybe observation for the next 24 hours. But generally speaking, they are all stable. So none came out of all the victims that were brought in here alive, all left alive.
The police has promised to provide more information about the bomb explosion at the end of its investigation. But while the nation awaits the outcome of that investigation, the police need to answer the following questions. How did the police conclude that the suspect was on a suicide mission? If he was discovered to be on a suicide mission, why was he allowed into the police headquarters without screening at the gate? Is it the practice to ask a traffic warden to enter into a visitor's car to direct him to the car park for what the police called searching and checking? These are some of the questions the Inspector General of Police needs to answer in the ongoing investigations.
Meanwhile, militant Islamic sect Boko Haram has claimed responsibility for the bomb blast at the police headquarters in Abuja. A spokesperson for the group, Usman al-Zawahiri, in a statement posted on the Voice of America website, said, "We are behind it and we are going to attack the entire north and other parts of the country, including the capital, Abuja." The self-acclaimed Boko Haram spokesman is reported to have also told the VOA that Boko Haram personnel returned from Somalia some days ago and have been deployed across northern Nigeria. Earlier this week, the group laid out its conditions for ceasefire and government-proposed peace talks. But Mr. al-Zawahiri says for the moment those efforts at reconciliation had collapsed and security agencies should prepare for intensified attacks.
Just hours after the explosion that hit the police headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria's federal capital territory, another bomb hit the town of Damboa, 90 kilometers off the Borno state capital, Maiduguri, leaving children dead. The Borno State Police Commissioner for Jinjiri, Mr. Jinjiri Abubakar, told the media that the children were playing in a compound near the church when the blast went off, killing 4 of them and wounding another. Boko Haram, a radical Islamic group which wants a wider application of strict Islamic laws across northern Nigeria, is suspected of being behind almost daily attacks in Borno State for several months now.
Well, away from security issues to the courts, where they embattled the former Speaker of the House of Representatives, Mr. Dimeji Bankole, and his erstwhile deputy, Mr. Usman Lafala, have asked an Abuja High Court to vary the bail conditions granted on June the 16th, which required that the applicants produce 2 sureties who must be resident in Abuja and who must be civil servants not below the rank of a permanent secretary. In the motion on notice filed by the council, Mr. Adegboyega Umolo says it has been impossible to secure the cooperation of this category of public officers of the Federation, whose career may be affected by standing shortee in the matter in which the employer is the complainant. Mr. Umolo argued that the applicant has achieved the status in the political hierarchy of this country as a holder of the national honor of Commander of the Order of the Federal Republic, who owes an obligation to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and not to run away but attend to the court to face the trial of whatever allegation is made against him.
He further said that the complainant in the charges against the applicant is the government of the Federation, who is the employer of the required category of officer, permanent secretary needed to fulfill the bail conditions. Mr. Umolo added that the applicant will not run away because both his ordinary and diplomatic passports, which are the only passports he has, are with the EFCC, and the court may order that the passports be deposited with the court's chief registrar as security and assurances to the court and the prosecution that the applicant will attend to the hearing of the case against him. In an attempt to meet the condition of bail, Mr. Umolo disclosed that the applicant was only able to secure the assurances of services and former senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, former ministers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, former ambassadors, retired military officers not below the rank of colonel or its equivalent, serving members of the Code of Conduct Bureau or other federal commissions, and university professors. When we come back on News Track, we'll take a look at business news, where the Central Bank Governor Lamido Sanusi says it will take more than monetary tightening to curb inflation.
Please join us again.
The secret promises of the Orient. Learn from the modern masters of the world. It will defy all expectations. Programming that will show the achievements of technology. Real-time political, economic, and social events. You'll see the warfare and natural disasters. It'll paint the picture of the geography, the lifestyles, the trials, and the challenges that have shaped the experiences of people and how they interpret them. It is distinctive. More news from outside, more authority from above, more fun on The World Today, Mondays to Fridays, 5:30 p.m.
Welcome back to News Track. Well, do remember that you can also watch the latest news and updates on developing stories and Channels Television on all of these mobile devices, the iPad, iPhone, BlackBerry and the Android.
To watch channels live from your device, please log on to channelstv.com and select your device platform by clicking on the Application tab. For iPad or iPhone, you click on the Apple tab, and for BlackBerry, click on the BlackBerry tab. Efficient and transparent accounting standards will contribute to the attainment of Nigeria's development goals. This was the standpoint of the 47th President of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, Professor Francis Ojaide, at the 37th induction ceremony of members of the Association of Accounting Technicians. Professor Ojaide said the accountant who upholds the integrity and competence is invariably contributing to national development.
It is therefore important for you to guide your achievement jealously by displaying objective, sound technical knowledge and exemplary character in your work, anywhere, anytime, and at all times. Upholding the virtues of integrity, and that's the foundation which the Institute stands. As an accounting technician, you must strive to perform your duties in accordance with acceptable technical standards irrespective of the sector of the economy in which you are employed. The academic technician is trained to function effectively in both the public and private sectors of the economy. The competence you exhibit will convince the public and the organization you serve that you are truly a professional in your own right. Accordingly, you must continuously strive to add value to your employer's legitimate activities and with profound ethical conduct.
The Managing Director of the Bank of Industry, Ms. Evelyn Oputu, has described renewable energy as the key to resolving the power crisis in the country. Ms. Oputu said that renewable energy is the effective option for energy, considering the huge sums of money being invested in the power sector. She said regular power supply will boost small and medium enterprises, which drives the economy.
Officials of the United Nations Development Programme and the Bank of Industry signing an agreement on renewable energy project. The use of renewable energy as an alternative source of energy is increasing, particularly in the face of growing demand for cleaner sources of energy that have little or no adverse effect to the environment. Renewable energy is also being used as a way to support economic development for poor countries by providing cheaper energy sources.
The target, therefore, will be to low-income groups, women and youth, for public, micro, small and medium enterprises activities. This initiative will definitely promote the creation of additional jobs and improve income for these groups.
The Managing Director of the Bank of Industry described the country's power challenges as a major hindrance to development. She is optimistic that with the Renewable Energy Partnership with the United Nations, the dependence on generators will be reduced and small businesses will also have a chance to excel.
Please be reassured that the board, management and staff of Bank of Industry and the entire leadership and staff of the UNDP are highly optimistic that renewable energy is a viable solution to the energy challenges of Nigeria, especially in the industrial sector of the economy. I know that this may sound strange because some of the solar panels we've seen on the streets, you see that the light is not strong enough, let alone talk about industrial space. I want to tell you that it is not true. I have seen the ones that are very strong.
The central bank estimated that 1.56 trillion naira is spent to fuel generators in the country annually. If renewable energy proves to be a successful alternative, Nigerian businesses will experience quantum leaps. Doris Okenwa, Channel Television News.
Welcome to Business News. Nigeria's central bank governor, Mr. Lamdo Sanusi, says monetary tightening alone will not address accelerating inflation in the country. His comments come as the National Bureau of Statistics released inflation figures for May, which showed a rise by 12.4%.
Mr. Sanusi also warned that the rising cost of imported food and unsubsidized fuel products indicate the risks to inflation are still on the upside. With inflation above the regulator's 10% targets, the central bank raised its key rate in May for the third time this year by 0.5 percentage points to 8%. Policymakers also doubled the reserve requirement for banks. Bidders for Royal Dutch Shell PLC's licenses in Nigeria may face extra risks after the NNPC was reported as demanding the right to operate the fields. Robin Vela, chief executive of Sakoil Holdings, one of the unsuccessful bidders, said the NNPC had asked for the operatorship of the licenses in which Shell is selling its interests. Sakoil put forward a joint bid with India's SR Group and Energy Equity Resources Limited for Shell's interest in the OML 42 license. In addition, to OML 42, Shell is also set to be selling its interest in the OML 30, 34 and 40 licenses. In company news, Union Bank of Nigeria PLC has recorded pre-tax profits of 36.45 billion naira in the 2010 from 279.78 billion naira loss for the previous year. Gross earnings rose to 130.41 billion naira from 112.08 billion naira. Union Bank is one of the 9 lenders rescued in a $4 billion bailout in 2009. In March, it signed a $750 million recapitalization deal with a group of institutional investors led by the African Capital Alliance private equity firm. There was no respite for key market indicators at the Nigerian Stock Exchange today, as the market closed in the red for the 5th day running, with a dip by 119 points or 0.47%. Once again, resort savings and loans swept the market off its feet, trading 400 million shares, the second time it's traded such high volumes this month. Other top trades are mixed, with the likes of Zenith Bank, Afro Media, International Energy Insurance and Livestock Feeds. 2 stocks from the Dangote Group listed. The building materials and food beverages sector were the top losers in terms of the value of their losses, with Dangote Cement down by 2 naira and Dangote Sugar declining by 70 kobo. More positively, UACN gained 1 naira 35 kobo, while its fellow conglomerates member UAC Property was also up by 90 kobo. Ashaka Cement gained 79 kobo. Total volume increased to 664 million shares, which were transacted in 4,498 deals for 1.7 billion naira.
Still to come, News Track officials of Enugu Rangers Football Club deny any threat of a boycott over unpaid wages. In sports news.
Just stay with us.
Looking for information you can trust about men, women and children's health? Then tune in to Health Matters, a live phone-in program on Channels Television.
I always feel tired. All my body, my bones.
We have moved from our traditional diet to the westernized diet.
Health Matters gives you facts about health, providing everyone with information on a wide range of medical, physical, emotional and behavioral issues that affect humans from both medical and non-medical experts.
Anemia is something that we should really worry about.
About 100,000 children die in infancy because of that.
Health Matters comes your way every Saturday at 12:30 p.m. It's a must-watch.
Welcome back to News Track. On the international scene, there are reports that Syrian troops traveling on tanks, armored personnel carriers and buses have moved into 2 northern towns. Security forces are gathering in Khan Sheikhun and Marat al-Numan, a town of 90,000 between Damascus and Aleppo.
The UN says no fewer than 1,100 people have died as the government has violently sought to quash protests over the past 3 months. Secretary General Mr. Ban Ki-moon has also urged Syria to halt the bloodshed and stop killing people. While President Assad is facing the gravest threat to his family's 40-year ruling dynasty, as unrest that first erupted in the south of the country has now engulfed the north, that's near the border with Turkey, and is threatening to spread eastwards towards its border with Iraq.
The management of the Nigeria Premier League giants Rangers International of Enugu has denied any threats of a walkout by players and officials of the club over unpaid wages.
News making the rounds in the media suggests that the players threatened to boycott their Wafu Cup clash against Mighty Barrow of Liberia, scheduled to hold this weekend at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium in Enugu. But the management has now come to debunk such reports, claiming it has resolved the issues with the players and they are set to confront the Liberians. In Europe, UEFA has announced that the final of the 2013 Champions League final will take place at London's Wembley Stadium for the second time in 3 years, having hosted European football showpiece event last season. When Barcelona beat Manchester United, Wembley will again host or play host to the final, owing to the exceptional circumstances of the Football Association's 150th anniversary. It will be the 7th time that Wembley has organised the final of Europe's Premier Cup competition, more than any other venue. UEFA also announced that Toulouse and Saint-Etienne will host matches at the 2016 European Championships in France, having initially been placed on the reserve list. It swells the list of host cities for the tournament, which will be the first to feature 24 teams from 9 to 11. Bordeaux, Lens, Lille, Lyon, Marseille, Nancy, Nice, Paris and Saint-Denis, where Stade de France is, had already been selected. Well, I hope maybe Manchester United will get another crack again at Wembley in
who knows?
2013.
They just might. Well, before we go, we'd like to remind you that you can also watch the latest news and updates on developing stories and channels television on all of these mobile devices. That's the iPad, iPhone, BlackBerry and the Android.
To watch channels live on your device, log on to channelstv.com. Select your device platform by clicking on the application tab. For iPad or iPhone, click on the Apple tab. For BlackBerry, click on the BlackBerry tab.
Thank you so much for watching. I'm Joke Rogers.
And I'm Ayotunde Balogun.
Up next is The World Today.
Please stay with us.
From the secret palaces of the Orient, learn from the modern masters of the world. It will defy all expectations. Programming that will show the achievements of technology. Real-time political, economic and social events. You'll see the warfare and natural disasters. It will paint the picture of the geography, the lifestyles, the trials, and the challenges that have shaped the experiences of people and how they interpret them. It is distinctive. More news from outside, more authority from above, more fun. On The World Today, Mondays to Fridays, 5:30 p.m. Channel Sports.
And there's the opening goal!
Experience the joy of victory. The agony of defeat. The celebration of success. And even the comedy of errors. The politics on and off the field of play. Intrigues. Every day, every hour, only on Channels Television. Channel Sports, defining the moments of true sports.